After ruling Iran for nearly 40 years, Ali Khamenei was enshrined as a martyr. Two grand ayatollahs, who are among the highest-ranking religious authorities in Shiite Islam, issued fatwas declaring that avenging Khamenei's death was a religious duty for Muslims. The statements blamed the United States and Israel and urged retaliation against the perpetrators. Still, Iran needs a successor to Ali Khamenei as supreme leader. And shortly, Iran announced the next supreme leader. It was a person little known to the public, even though he was regarded as the most likely successor. He was not a general. Not the president. Not even a famous cleric. He is Ali Khamenei's second son, who had held no official positions before the announcement and had unexpectedly survived. He lost nearly 10 relatives during the airstrikes, including his father, mother, his wife, his son, brother-in-law, and 3 nieces or nephews. He survived anyway and became Iran's new supreme leader, another Khamenei. That decision could change everything, for better or worse. Because the same revolution that overthrew a king in 1979 may have just created a new dynasty, and many Iranians hate the monarchy. Because whoever controls Iran also influences wars across the Middle East, global oil prices, and one of the world's most controversial nuclear programs. Inside the country, millions of young Iranians want change. But behind the scenes, one powerful force may decide what happens next. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So the real question now isn't just who leads Iran. But, will Iran collapse? Or will it become more powerful than ever? The Iranian military is not just an army. It controls missiles, military forces, and a large part of the economy. If it supports the new leader, the regime could become stronger than ever. But what if it does not? Iran could face the biggest power struggle since the revolution. So another question is, what actually happens after Ali Khamenei? And the answer could reshape the Middle East overnight. When Ali Khamenei took power in 1989, the Cold War was ending. The internet barely existed. And Iran was still recovering from a devastating war with Iraq. For decades, he became the ultimate decision-maker in Iran, controlling the military, nuclear policy, and regional alliances. But now he's gone. And power has passed to Mojtaba Khamenei, a man many Iranians barely know. So here comes the simple question everyone, from Washington to Beijing to Tehran, is asking. What happens after the late Ali Khamenei? Will Iran fracture? Will protests explode? Or will the regime emerge even stronger when his son takes the reins? To understand what might happen next, we need to understand how Iran's power system actually works. Iran isn't run like most countries. It's not a democracy. But it's not exactly a dictatorship either. Instead, it's something unique. A theocratic republic. At the top sits the supreme leader, the most powerful figure in the country. He controls the armed forces, the judiciary, state media, and key economic institutions. Even Iran's elected president ultimately answers to him. And since 1989 till the end of February 2026, that role had been held by Ali Khamenei. Over the decades, he built a powerful alliance with Iran's most important institution, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC. Originally formed to defend the Islamic Revolution, the IRGC eventually became something much bigger. Today it's a military force, an intelligence network, and a massive economic empire. In fact, many analysts believe the IRGC has become the single most powerful institution in Iran. And Ali Khamenei relied heavily on them to maintain control. They helped crush protests, suppress political opposition, and expand Iran's influence across the Middle East. Through alliances with groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen. But Ali Khamenei had also been aging, at 87, and his days had been numbered, when he and dozens of high-rank officials were removed by US and Israeli airstrikes. Even without the sudden attacks from Israel and the US, Iran should find a new supreme leader. By the mid-2020s, speculation about succession intensified. Iran's political elite quietly debated one question: who would replace him? For years, one name kept appearing in those discussions. Not a president. Not a famous cleric. But Khamenei's own son. Mojtaba Khamenei. Unlike his father, Mojtaba rarely appeared in public. He held no official government position. But behind the scenes, many insiders believed he wielded enormous influence. He reportedly built close relationships with the Revolutionary Guards, helping shape political decisions from the shadows. Still, there was a problem. Iran's entire political system was built on opposition to the monarchy. The 1979 revolution overthrew the Shah, a hereditary ruler. So passing power from father to son would look uncomfortably similar. A dynasty inside a revolutionary state. Like North Korea. From his grandpa to his dad, to him, to his daughter, and potentially to his grandkid. A path many believe China would have also followed. In 1976, after Chairman Mao died. If the US bombing had not removed his son, in the 1950s, during the Korean War, Iran had to face it and choose from a dynasty or a republic. Yet when the moment came, that's exactly what happened. The Assembly of Experts, the clerical body responsible for choosing the supreme leader, selected Mojtaba as successor. And instantly, Iran entered one of the most uncertain moments in its history. Inside Iran, reactions were complicated. Some regime loyalists celebrated continuity. To them, Mojtaba represented stability. In a dangerous time, Iran was already facing sanctions, regional conflict, and internal unrest. A smooth transition could prevent chaos. But others saw something very different. Critics argued that the Islamic Republic had just become an Islamic monarchy. Protests erupted in some cities. Social media exploded with debate. And outside Iran, the reaction was even more intense. The United States condemned the decision. Donald Trump did not have a say, as he had declared. Israel warned it would not tolerate a more aggressive Iranian leadership. Meanwhile, Iran's allies quickly expressed support. The stakes were enormous. Because whoever controls Iran's leadership controls one of the most strategically important countries in the world. Iran sits at the center of the Middle East. It borders Iraq, Turkey, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and the Persian Gulf. It influences conflicts across the region. And more importantly, it also borders the United States. Through the air and the reflection of twinkling stars. But the biggest question wasn't foreign policy. It was power. Because in Iran, the supreme leader may sit at the top. But he doesn't rule the country alone. Behind the scenes, one group may ultimately decide Iran's future. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Over the past 4 decades, the IRGC transformed from a revolutionary militia into a massive power center. They control elite military units, ballistic missile programs, intelligence networks, and huge sectors of the economy. And according to analysts, once Khamenei died, the IRGC became the kingmaker of Iranian politics. That means Mojtaba's success may depend on one thing: their support. So far, signs suggest the guards are backing him. Reports indicate he has long maintained strong ties with the organization, which could mean Iran's next era won't be more democratic. It could actually become more militarized. But that's just one possible future. Right now, experts see three possible scenarios for Iran's future. And each one could change the Middle East in different ways. Scenario 1: Regime collapse. Some analysts believe the regime could unravel. Iran has faced years of economic hardship, sanctions, inflation, and waves of protest movements. Many young Iranians are deeply frustrated with the political system. The death of a longtime leader can create a power vacuum. History shows this again and again. When powerful rulers disappear, their systems sometimes collapse. Think about the Soviet Union after its aging leadership, or authoritarian states that struggled after strongmen died, such as China between 1976 and 1978, after the death of Chairman Mao. If Deng Xiaoping had not been strong enough, the country could have long collapsed. Iran is facing the same situation. If rival factions inside Iran start fighting for power, the regime could fracture. But there's a problem with that theory. The Islamic Republic has proven extremely resilient. Scenario 2: Military consolidation. Another possibility is the opposite. Instead of collapse, Iran becomes more centralized. The Revolutionary Guards tighten control. Political dissent is further suppressed. And Mojtaba Khamenei becomes the symbolic head of a more militarized system. Some analysts believe Iran could gradually evolve from a clerical republic into something closer to a military religious state. That would make Iran more stable internally, but potentially more confrontational internationally. Scenario 3: Controlled reform. The third scenario is a slower change. Some factions within Iran understand that the system is under pressure. They may push for limited reforms to ease tensions. That could include economic changes, diplomatic negotiations, or slightly looser social restrictions. But this scenario depends on one critical factor: whether Mojtaba Khamenei chooses continuity or transformation. So which future is most likely? Right now, the strongest evidence suggests something in between. Iran's system was designed to survive leadership transitions. When the founder of the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Khamenei, died in 1989, many predicted chaos. Instead, the system adapted, and Ali Khamenei ruled for nearly 4 decades. Today, the institutions he built remain powerful. The Revolutionary Guards, the clerical establishment, and the political networks surrounding the supreme leader. That means a sudden collapse is unlikely. Instead, Iran may enter a new phase of continuity. But with one key difference. For the first time since the revolution, power may now resemble a dynastic succession. And that could reshape how the Islamic Republic evolves. History often turns on moments like this. One